Contenders. But guys, let's take it into game number 1.
Oh, and we're getting a fairly Western plane here to start things off with. We'll even be getting to see a bit of military base. You never know. You know me, I was a big fan of the military circles we got many times.
I'm counting for maybe even 5 teams going towards South George.
Oh, no.
This is game 1. This is where the chaos could happen. You never know what to expect. But there's gonna be some fighting for South George, that's for sure.
And this is where I get to say it again. It's the big balls plays where early on you're going to sit there and say, do you know what? I'm actually going to take this. I actually want to try and contest for this spot.
Wow.
I believe this is going to be mine. That's a true cluster.
We got Seekorg in between Avangar. We got Power up there as well. These are some very hard-hitting teams, all of them. And then we got Besiktas and K23, the team that qualified directly, I should say, very first place of the Open League in Phase 1 in the EU East. Seems like they're going to be heading off. And we also have multiple teams going down towards the military base. Northern Lights team, they were there all season long in Phase 1, and the few times they didn't go there, the circle tended to go down there, kind of unfortunate for them. But now we do get to see the circle here as well. Everything is going to be up and somewhat center, but tons of teams clustered all over.
A fairly fun start here of what we kind of expected.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it makes sense, right? Maybe if we get a different plane, maybe we've got a central plane, we'd see people move off. We know how much Avangar in the past have loved a bit of Milta power over there and kind of trying to take control of that area. But things can change, and this will be the telling sign with 4 games of Erangel. How's it going to work out off of every plane we get to see here? Now, LXG can be very happy to have all of Yasnaya to themselves and still be within the circle early on.
Yep, they're making their way on. They got plenty of room to work with. I feel like Phase 1 was kind of the Yasnaya phase, where we would have at least 1 or 2, even 3 teams looting up in that area. But here, at least with this plane path, they got to loot it all by themselves. Seems like Besiktas got themselves all of Milta power as well. Now go back to talk about the guys. They got themselves a new logo. Before, it was just the N and a L and a T with light blue colors. But now Northern Lights team has got themselves a little bit of an upgrade. Maybe that's off of their performance in Phase 1. They were able to purchase themselves a nice graphic designer to make themselves a new logo, and that's a good job by them.
I'm always down for that. A bit of early skills being shown.
Simple can be good. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I like the logo there. Looks good. But Seekorg and Avangar sharing, at least for now, sharing North George. Not sure it's going to happen next game, but as you can see, Maxisol, Inactive, and Snoopy sitting kind of pinned in between the guys from France here all around them.
That's some shots already going to start off here. It's Seekorg onto Avangar, but at this distance, yes, we expect this because teams are so close to each other. Even if you get a knock, it's unlikely that you're going to be able to get the finish off anytime soon.
Yeah. I mean, we say that, but at the same time, look at how thinly spread Seekorg are. I mean, they're in each their building, so should a knock come in and should Avangar be aware of their wide split, they might just be able to push in and get themselves a finish off here. Because as you can see, Aspen, they're all kind of in the same area. Now they're actually the ones pinning down Philo in that one apartment building. And for Eric's and Ballas, well, they've got to figure. Either we got to make a way over there and help him out, or we just got to call it and say, you know what, you're on your own, buddy. Stay tight, hide in the corner, hope they don't come for you, and then come towards us when they've left.
And Seekorg, right, when we looked at them in Phase 1, was a team that impressed us very early on here, but then things kind of slowed down a little bit for them, didn't they? It became a bit where, they kind of met their match as it be, or maybe ran out of steam.
I can see they are actually making their way on in now. Philo breaking the glass, trying to fake out as if he was jumping out the window, but doesn't seem like Avangar, they care for that. They will be ready for it. Nate's coming up now through the window as well. He's going to be all by himself. And as you can see, Ballas and Furix, they've made their way on over. And Sunset is crossing the road now too. This could be a full-on 4v4 in the very beginning of the tournament.
And the way they're flushing this as well. I like it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Doing it correctly, sticking together as a team, making sure that no one might potentially get finished off here if they do run into one of the Seekorg players.
In Phase 1, we'd like to compliment teams for holding that more military-esque angle. And here it goes. Full team pushing up. Does manage to disengage into the building, but they know exactly where he's hiding now. Philo all by himself.
Oh, nicely held at the moment, trying to do as best as he can, able to shoot him down. He goes into the prone position. He does manage to get the knock, but that's all he's going to be able to get. And a very rough spot for them to fight from. But Asverin does get finished off. Now they need to hold Seekorg coming back into this battle. They're able to deliver an Avangar. The pressure's on. This isn't looking good for them. With one player finished off, Onactive is just running away. He doesn't want to fight this, and he's going to have to allow his teammates to go down because there was no way he's going to come in and save the day.
All by himself. They had the idea of the push on up, but Onactive just wasn't in a position to help them out, and now he's getting shot at as well. Down to just about 30% HP. Might be able to do something here, but he's 1v3. This is going to be ever so hard, but if there's one player to do it, Onactive is one of the more talented players coming out of CIS.
Furax running down Sunzi on the side. They're going to go around the corner. Shots coming off. Onactive does manage to get one knock, but he won't be able to get the kills. And surprisingly, Avangar are our first team being eliminated here. What on earth did that even come into play?
Game 1, chaos on chaos. We know it's going to happen. Now the question is going to be, should we see a similar play next game?
Yeah.
Avangar, the team to go fight. We talked about how passive they were in the beginning of Phase 1. Like with every single game, if they could avoid it, they'd stay outside. They'd go miles out into the blue just to avoid confrontations. This clearly wasn't their plan, but they had no way of backing out of it because there were so many teams looting around them. And, well, I mean, they took the toll for it.
Now, good old Zen on your screens. Now, this is a team that we did see a great Phase 1 from overall. It certainly slowed down at the end. It wasn't the most ideal position for them, but they did solidify themselves that spot to say, look, we are a team that can deliver. And surprisingly so, when it came to the Kickoff Cup, it was a bit of a rough ride for them. So now they're looking for a bit of redemption when it comes to it.
I mean, also we could add to it that talking about changes over the board, T-Bone has been added to the mix. Used to play for Wizards, used to play for Alliance as well. Very, very talented PUBG player. He's been in the scene for a long time. We have him on screen right here. See him with the SKS and T-Bone. Very, very gifted player. And now they go up against a team in Gamerlegion, a team we actually haven't talked too much about, actually at all today. A team that came off really strong from the start in Phase 1. And then they kind of had their potato hill moments with I believe, personal courage it was. They were just constantly fighting up there, and neither team got anything off of it, and unfortunately kind of fell off. But a team that's not to be taken for granted, that's for sure. See how everybody's making their way further on north. K23 kind of silhouetting around the compound here. Got Jupesic, Give IT sitting inside the building, trying to figure out if they can pop some heads off, maybe sort of take off some of the pressure on towards them. And I think K23 figured there's got to be somebody up here. Let's just back off early. Riddle on their rotation onto Sinsen and company trying to make their way on further north. Should be doable for them. They were seemingly in an area with no opponents around them, so no real pressure coming in. Also a team that likes to play passive, but then we talked about them in last phase, and they were one of those teams that would get into confrontations where, whether it was lack of scouting, whether it was just unfortunate timing, when they're able to put up the fights the way they want to, they're really good at executing them. But here, they tended to get one or two players caught off early pretty much every single game.
Now, we did see a crazy fight to start things off with, but for now, we'll probably see a bit of that slowdown until we get into the next couple of phases. Already RDL making their way just to move further forward, but they're being very cautious. They're keeping a look around. Seekorg, though, under pressure.
Yeah.
Sunzi's at least going to be knocked down for now. And there is a bit of a battle here between them and PWR, which making this going to be an interesting fight for them to try and get out of this if this is the way they want to try and rotate. Now, he's not being finished off yet. Furax is under pressure. Sunzi's been eliminated. And this is where Seekorg are now going to get a bit of a taste of their own medicine here.
Yeah.
The damage is being delivered. They're working it from the hilltop. And PWR, they come out on top. But Seekorg, they're still with it. Barlos is in the back lines, but he needs to just try and stick away from this now.
We talked about Powerful coming into this game. Former Istanbul's line, a very, very talented bunch. And, well, I mean, Barlos, he is the last living player for Seekorg. So there was a third team inside this line that didn't want to fight off early, and now seems like they got themselves 2 kills early on anyway.
This just makes me so excited for the next game of understanding, are these people going to do the crazy drops again? Is this how we're going to see it go down?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. It's always like that. I mean, there's so much thought going to it. Some say that the early games are the hardest on the in-game leader because you rarely ever know what to expect. It's more of a, and for the coach as well, I mean, it's more of a sort of react play. You can't really predict a whole lot of things because it's a very new group for everyone to play in. But we'll see how things turn out here. Who gets to sort of get the gist of it early on? We saw teams like Reciprocity and Unity last phase, how they just steamrolled from the very start in the finals. I think some teams might be able to do the same thing here.
Now you saw Jupzik there with K23 on the back lines of them. They're split 2-2 by the looks of it as well, which means K23 could have an advantage if they do want to push over it.
Yeah, they've kind of been sitting up on this hill for a while, and they must know by now there are people inside the building. Thing is that it's a good position even to sit outside of it. They can keep their vehicles safe. They can sort of sit around and wait for that next circle to pop, and now it's closing on in. So I think they're just going to sit around for a little while longer because there would be no reason for the guys inside the compound to push them out.
You can just hear those shots firing off over and over.
They're coming all over the place.
It's like, we're just waiting just, guys. Keep away. Let us have our space for now.
Yeah, you saw Force on your screen there, formerly known as Personal Courage, got picked up by the organization. Congrats to them. It's always tough for these teams. There's so many teams in PUBG, and whenever you see teams signed, you gotta give them some kudos, because that's a hard thing to do. And congrats on them getting picked up by that org.
And while we've got We Need a Home on the screen, you've got to say congrats to Rita on the engagement.
Oh, yeah.
That was a magical moment and a half.
The most seen clip on PEL Esports Twitch channel, I believe, was that proposal on screen right there.
And the thing is, that's not actually a bad thing, because what it just meant is that everyone from no matter what esports they are involved in was sharing that, because they just loved the moment. It was such a magical thing.
It's amazing. I'm just glad you said yes. That would have made a... that would have made a very watched clip, but for other reasons. I'm very glad that they... not only get to play the game they both like, but actually get to do it on the same team. That's just amazing. Bjorn taking a bit of a bullet towards him. Slibberserk coming on early with the MK14. Dangerous weapon to put in hand of a good fragger. And we haven't seen a lot from Slibby early on, but now we'll see if he's able to get some finish-offs here.
And Gamerlegion, by the way, was that team that literally at the end, they really stepped up when they had such a slow start to all. So if they could have a good start here, right, if they could step up on the early part of the game, I'd be really interested to see what they deliver overall later on. Ooh.
Broxel coming in hard from the side. Two of the Open League teams squaring up against one another. And right now, Broxel is making them pay. He's a guy who's playing all the time. Every single time I see him being online, it's just playing Face It, playing all the single. Just every single day. He's a very, very, very big grinder. And it pays off. You can see it right there.
Well, that's what you've got to do if you want to make it in PUBG. Grind out those games. Even when your team's not on, you've got to be doing it solo. Get in those games of Face It. Okay, 2-3, right? They've been out in this open spot. They're using their vehicles and the trees for a bit of cover here. They need to be careful regardless, though, because there could be a flank coming on their side by the looks of it. Power might be ready for it, and that's exactly what starts to happen. Greg gets taken out completely. Just White's been knocked, and this is now a very scary position with just two players left alive, one who's knocked down at the moment. What's the decision going to be? Power still able to deliver it. They're spraying in, and the flank truly did work out in their favor here.
Yeah, see right there, they called him Healing, or Resin, like that. And he got completely and utterly caught off. Mumino, very talented player, goes down there as well. Now Desert is all by himself. Well, there's a chance for him to make it out alive. Morpheus might get a little over-aggressive on this one because they don't know what to expect once they get up on this hilltop. But we'll see if he actually commits to it if he stays down the hill. Seekorg down to 1. K23 down to 1 as well. We already lost Avangar. And, well, I mean, this ain't looking good for the last remaining K23 player here. Tries to fire off a bullet into the smoke. Just something to give himself some cover fire. But hard to do cover fire and run at the same time.
I do respect it, right, that he's still trying to give some fire out, but I'd be very scared because you don't have a lot of cover. There's a lot of teams that's heard exactly what's going on. You've got Power pushing you, and you know this team is just right in front of you, been in this compound for so long, which means that you've got to be scared of where they're coming from as well. It's a rough spot to be in. You're not going to be able to prone your way out of this anytime soon.
Not at all. Northern Lights team have made their presence known. They're crossing the water as we speak, coming all the way from Military Island. Deep is sitting well in it. He'll get himself boosted up and be ready to make that move on over. But as you can see, we got Insidegames just over on the other side waiting for them.
As his rotations start to come in, O'Connell taking a few shots towards him. K23 are going to be our next team down and out of it. And Power, right? They eliminated 2 members of Seekorg, and now they just eliminated K23. They are fragging out early on here. They're looking for the kill points on top of this placement points to come in.
When they were Soccer Balls, they were a team to be feared. Nothing's changed as far as their playstyle just because their names has been changed. They are very, very aggressive teams that will take these fights early on. Maybe even in situations where they aren't in the better position. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. But with a point system like this, there's no reason for them not to.
We spoke about phase 1, how key some of the utility usage of these grenades was. Okay, bro, he's firing them off non-stop. He's not been able to connect them all just yet, but he's at least keeping IG away from him.
See, Pixel and the guys from Insidegames, they come off to a really good start in phase 1 as well. Then kind of things somewhat fell apart, but that's just, you gotta abuse it when teams don't really have their footing right. And that's when some of these teams that might not be the better team statistically can really get a lot of points early. It's as soon as some of these more experienced teams try to start finding patterns, start figuring out things, that it's gonna be really hard to abuse them the same way as when everything is scrambled. New circle pops, goes further west, according to the minimap at least. So, okay, bro, figure out, do we just drive now, or do I look around for a little while longer?
Yeah, is it worth spending any more time on this? His teammates have got themselves in the vehicles to move on up just a little bit now. They're not that far away from the circle, so they've got time to play with here. But as we've already hit phase 4, things will start to heat up ever so slightly now, as there is less and less room for these teams to find their way in. But there's quite a lot of space down to the south at the moment, which no one is really trying to contest as it is. And there are some compounds there to play off of.
Yeah, the water has been shifted out from, so there's no saying in that. Seekorg goes down, so 2 of 3 teams looting in South George out of the game, or North George, out of the game already early on. We'll see if that's going to impact decision-making next game or not. Tons of room on the south side. The only thing is getting down there is going to be extremely difficult. Clip, we're seeing from long range away, trying to take shots down towards Besiktas.
Yeah, Besiktas, right? They're one of our teams where on Miramar they came to play over and over again. But Erangel, it wasn't the most convincing performances out of them. Let's see what they've been able to change when it comes to this phase overall.
You see the guys right here, Futbolist, the former Not Fair team as well, getting picked up there as well. Salters is the one to try and push on over, apply some sort of pressure. They have to make their way away, and you can see he's trying to buy some time for all of his teammates to rotate through, and right now it's working. You got Senso and Glued, and they push down behind the side, but Senso gets himself a knock immediately.
Fours need to be careful here as they start to push on up with one player, not more coming their way, but that's a huge nade from Higgy. That's the way you want to get it done. Oh, plenty coming his way. He smelt the blood and he knew what he could do, but what can Solters do to try and find BCGG now?
Everybody's talking about the nade meta that we're in. They're so damn dangerous. They can really, really, really disrupt everything. They had it going for them. They got themselves the first knock, but now that second nade coming in almost takes him up, but just not quite.
BCGG, he's just holding on. He knows if he goes for the rest, he's going to be taken down. Very smart play here from Foz. Using one player up close and personal will eliminate Futbolist, and that's going to be the way you want to get it done early on here. But they have got We Need a Home now already firing up on into him.
They had things going for them early on, got themselves that first knock, but not a whole lot more came off of it. For those of you guys who are a bit confused, we got smoke timers now. That's what you can see on the screen. Hamster from the roof tried to get down and up, but he's going to go down himself.
Big fight coming in here, and IG, they've got to try and play this a little bit smarter. They're all pushing forward, but they're pushing forward into the smokes and into the spraying. Mac and Dark trying to hold on. Zampeak's just trying to prone himself up. Very low on health here. Nades going out. These smokes will soon begin to fade. And Gamerlegion, they can't catch a break. He tried to back away, but Mac and Dark has found a nade, picks him apart, and blows them to smithereens.
And that was exactly what they needed. Pixel was no way there to help. Really, really, really fortunate nade being thrown there. He knew exactly where they were. He coordinated it well, and that leaves them some sort of room to make their way forward. But as you can see in the eastern side of your map there, Insidegames, they are not quite inside this circle. They're on the very far edge of it, and outside they won't be nearby the next one either. Riddle goes down as well, so immediately right off the bat, 10 teams remaining. And we're just hitting the 19-minute mark. Not something we see too often, but this area of the map is very open. If you don't have one of those compounds, one of those few isolated spots you can hide around in, well, I mean, there's not a whole lot left to play from.
Bit of Zen magic coming in there for themselves. You can see them in the compound, very center circle. The rotations have worked out for them, and they will now just be able to hold strong, at least for a little while longer, while the other teams will be battling out for the very few spots available here.
A little bit of looting being done AUG not getting picked up. Medkit to spare as well. I guess they had the meds they needed, and AUG wasn't the weapon of choice. Northern Lights will be able to push on up. They take the compound that Zoekt Een Naam left earlier. Should be free for them, but they're not just inside the circle just yet.
There we go. They're doing a little bit of a trade around, allowing everyone in the team to get the weapons they want from that supply drop. Ooh. As We Need a Home is still applying the pressure here, and Force find Fosford knocked down. Zoltas is going to be able to hide himself up a little bit here. A smoke had been deployed, but it was backwards that he threw it, not towards them. So he's making sure he's covered from all angles, as this little hut does have a lot of windows to play from, which makes it hard for him.
It's not exactly an easy place to play, especially when opponents know exactly where you are. Ooh, almost gets taken down there, but not quite so. Now the nades. The nades, nades are coming on in.
This is just like a mortar strike coming in. Nades galore. We Need a Home are continuing to deliver the pain over to Force. Zoltas finds himself taken out. He obviously did revive his teammate, but it's going to be very weak for them to try and hold on. The Wildcats, what can they do here? They know exactly what's going to be happening to them, and on our head, he just needs to hold on and at least be able to deliver something to give information over to his teammates, because everyone else on IG, as they start to push in, is just hidden away. He can't spot them out just yet.
They have one player inside the building up close. He got one, he got second knock as well, but now Ostolova is all by himself, has to get him down somehow, but he has that level 3 gear. It's gonna help him out. It's tons of HP to work with, though only 6 bullets in the chamber. Oh my god, this is getting chaotic, but Slippy gets the finish off in the end. Really tough place to play around. That level 3 gear kept one teammate alive for a while, but seems to me like one team was taken down, and that's going to be the guys from
Zoltas. Oh, he's finally finished off. Fours go out in 9th. They tried to hide on and just make sure that he can go over and hopefully res his teammate, but it wasn't meant to be.
Unfortunate for LXG too, because they were kind of playing off of nobody knowing where they were despite their open position. But now with them running up towards them, and they might just have allowed for the guys in We Need a Home to spot them out. We got Zoekt Een Naam taking shots up towards Jupsig, O'Connell, and Give IT as well in tons of pressure. But as you can see, Ivel, as soon as he leaves that compound, shots are coming his way too.
We've got Besiktas nearby as well, which means no team tag here is going to be a little bit of a struggle for them to fight this off. Again, the nades coming out, and Simsy surviving with 1 health and a dream there for him. He's like, okay, maybe I overextended a little bit. I'll just wait it out. I'll try and get some health back up here. I need to be very cautious. A no tag team, they're just instantly dropping a few smokes down, providing some cover. They've got the ridge and the rocks to work behind, but they know they've got both teams firing in on them. And Zen, at least, they're in the circle. They don't have to move. They can wait for this to go down and potentially get the third party in play. As Tomil, the nade's delivery, finds himself 2 knocks, and we speak about the nade meta. It doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Simsy's gone in for the kills. And We Need a Home, they're delivering it once again onto Spyro. LXG can't catch a break, and he also can't find himself any cover.
He has 1 HP as well. Might just be able to get some heals on up here, because We Need a Home, they might know where he is, but he needs to spend some time getting the hell out of here. Somehow Smash, you can see, is caught on the edge down there. He has a bit of a ridge line to run up, and it seems like he will be able to get on up the hill. Jupsig up here, formerly known as Wizards, now no team tag, trying to see if they can apply the pressure needed, but not going to happen. O'Connell taken down, and Jupsig is all by himself.
And he's just going to run away. He doesn't want to get involved in this, but when you get to this part of the game, there are so many teams in front of you. He can see and hear what's going down, and he's going to barrel out another smoke. Got a nade. Oh, this could be huge. Very well placed nade. Gets close. Does manage to get 1 knock done. Going to go in for the kills because he knows it's worth it. And they are within the top 8, and he's just hungry for more. Jupsig's there on a bit of a cleanup duty, and he's able to get the job done. But Zen, they spot him out, and he has to go back behind the tree.
He gets 2 points off of that and tries to get some more of it too. Ooh, that vehicle rolling on back. Rita all by herself. What can you do here? What can do? Smash does come up to help. 1 vehicle down, we'll just add 1 more to the list and grant us some cover there inside the circle, but they do not have a whole lot of room to work with. And Besiktas, they're right around the corner.
Besiktas unrelenting. As always, constantly firing off here. A good start to be in top 5 on the first game for Erangel for these guys. We spoke about the Miramar plays, but hey, this is exactly what they'd want to see today.
For sure. I mean, they played the northern side. It wasn't as chaotic as the southern has been. Now with them 4 guys alive, we keep talking about these military strats used. This is one of the teams that you need to fear if they're 4 guys alive. They are one of the cleanup duty experts, and it seems like that's exactly what they're trying to do right now.
Besiktas know exactly where we need a home is, but need to keep their wits about them. Many teams close by as Simsy's going to find himself knocked down to start off with. Vasquez, in the meantime, though, is actually going to be under pressure here from the Wildcats. They're getting the starting job done. Oh, good position from Ultra. Spots out, able to get a bit of a spray off there. Does need to avoid these nades and instead walk straight into one. Smash is able to get him knocked down on the ground. And this is where Besiktas have a decision to make. Tomil and Lux need to finish these guys off. Need to clean out. We need a home. And Tomil's just sending for it. He's pushing forward. He's looking around the smoke. He's trying to find himself an advantage to work off of here. And this could be huge. He's got Lux to back him up. His teammates are being picked apart, but they're going to do all the damage. Smash, the only one left alive. And Tomil is on the hunt for him.
1v2, it's not impossible, it's gonna be tough, and somehow we need a home. They were 2v4, made it a 1v2, now gets himself the first. Now can he get the second one as well? Can he get the finish off? Not gonna happen. Tomil survives it, and that's gonna be 10 kills for Besiktas.
So close yet so far. Smash doing an absolutely incredible job there at the end, but he cleans it up nicely, but he will just be the final member left alive.
See, Wildcats, they're coming in here. They have gotten themselves quite a few kills to it as well. And, well, I mean, with them coming straight in from the MEA region in the open to then take a 4th place guaranteed. And
wow.
Hole in one with that one. Make that a top 3 guaranteed placement for them in the first game. That's opting a good start for them.
Hey, with an arm like that, I want to see him throwing some pitches for baseball as well, because that was on point. Zen, they've got 4 players left alive here. They're in a very strong position, but they've got to be careful of the Wildcats who have started to fire on them consistently as Tomil's just making his way inside the Smirkle, and he's actually going to start delivering as well. This could benefit Zen massively. A third party in a dream coming their way.
Solo player trying to make his way on forward. He's not inside the circle. He said, one more tree, one more rock. What can I get to get inside the circle? You need to make some room for yourself, and as you can see, Tomil's doing more than that. He's trying to take down everyone near him. He knows he's a heavy hitter, but he does know exactly how many people you're up against.
And that's the problem now for Tomil. It's all a bit of a waiting game as he will finish one player off. He's looking for more. Them smokes nearby are starting to disappear, but he's been able to gain so much ground. He is timing this so well, ducking and diving between trees and rocks, and he doesn't even need to rely on trying to prone it up just yet. The Slippy Zerg has managed to deliver onto T-Bone, and he's the one playing from the back lines here.
Yeah, T-Bone was trying to hold the ankle in. Not going to happen. It's going to go down. Page actually the one to finish him off. Won't cost him anything, of course. And we see Slippy Zerg once again. I mean, he's been a beast with the M24. No, wait. MK14, thank you. And, yeah, but he's been applying pressure with that all game long. I think it was his first crate drop the entire game, and he's been in it from the very start.
That's the kind of crate drop you want early on to help you and your team out, as the Wildcats are currently up at 9 frags overall, guaranteed a top 3 finish, and they've got to find Tomil who's on his own. He's close range, but Zen are going to start trying to deliver it to him, but Slippy Zerg, once again, he's going to be the point man out here. When it comes to the crunch time, he's able to get Vasku knocked not once, but that's the 2nd time. And Zen are going to drop the smoke and have to bring him back up because they need to play the numbers game here.
That's going to be no helmet left for Vasco. Will he be able to do anything here, or will he not? Just one bullet to the head with pretty much any weapon. Tomil trying to stay alive. Not going to happen, though. He will go down. And somehow, a team that we have not seen play in the Contenders before, coming straight out of the open, will go now with the player advantage up against them. Actually, it's a 3v3, but going up against the guys in Zoekt Een Naam.
And this is the way you make a statement on your opening Contenders game. They've got the ridgeline to play off of here. Zen certainly have the tree cover, at least for now. But when it comes to how this is working, look at the positions we've got here from the Wildcats players. 2 down in the south, 1 up at the north. They're trying to get a little bit of a pinch going on here towards Zen. And this is where Zen need to keep their awareness very high and make sure they are looking for these players creeping around.
Now, the good thing is that they did hear the northern players from Wildcats sit up there and take the fight with Tomil, so they know that there's someone up there. Question is whether they saw 2 players down south, because as you can see here, Slippy is kind of caught behind that little hillside. There's not a whole lot of places for him to go, and with that last circle going dead center, they know where to expect them. At least you would assume that they know, so it's going to be up to that player on north to see if he can get himself a pick off.
There is huge damage being done. Ivor just took a shot down from 85. Fair enough, you can med it up, but eventually they will run out of it. So if you can keep landing shots like this as the time ticks away, that's going to be ideal. As Page is looking to find one remaining player here. I believe he just saw Slippy. He isn't going to be able to take the shots on. Slippy makes his way forward and out in the open. He's going to go down. An easy one for Page to find, but how much more can be done? Instantly, they come up to with a reply, and this is where the free fragging is going to be so key, because Zen are going to struggle to get the revive back up here, as the nades are going out, and they're just going to have to avoid it, because you cannot walk blindly into one of these, especially with how much damage that can be done. And ANNL, he does end up walking straight into it. Vasquez's able to hit it, going strong, and now it's all up to CTRKN. How much more can he get done here? He's had 4 kills already. He's kind of aware of where these Zen players are, but with both of them out there, he sprays out the first. Nice bit of damage done. Vasquez eliminates his teammate. There's no hopes of the revives coming in now. He's going to get the first aid off, but that nade, it nearly took him down. Now the players start to come close to him. They start to get into this position to take him down. Ival from the side, swiping him out. And the first chicken dinner goes out to Zoekt Een Naam. And what an impressive start for these guys. Once again here in Contenders, delivering as we expect.
Only 4 kills. They had the compound for a while, but they played for you. So many times they got knocked in there. Every time they went out to take shots, there's another compound that's easy to get in.